What makes Perplexity's approach different from ChatGPT?
Even though our analysis is correct and to the point with all best possible scenarios, still it can go wrong. So AI is also, because AI also can't predict future.
Karnataka has been doing this great job and it's going to actually make huge value additions to the country as a whole. Today war is not fought in the battleground, it is fought in the labs.
In the labs. Out of a village in Tenkasi, Tamil Nadu, he has built such a huge $1 billion company sitting in the rice paddy field basically.
Wonderful.
Where many sitting in top tier 1, tier 2 cities have not been able to do that.
So what is the word of caution for people? Because a lot of youngsters, they use this Perplexity, but it is still learning.
The government is also making sure that they introduce the kind of syllabus in the education curriculum that basically trains our next generation to be quantum computing ready.
So far, whatever we have talked, most of it is used by businesses and techies, and they understand. But this one, what we are talking about, is something that every Indian is already using.
The best part is that it has more features, certain more features than WhatsApp. See, most of the platforms that we are using, which are built outside of India, will be seeing our homegrown products in next just a couple of years' time.
Welcome you all to today's episode from Rupee Rakshak. Normally we talk about global markets, we talk about stock markets, we talk about the changes, what's going up, what's going down, why. But today we are not talking about any of that. We are talking about something very, very interesting that's happening in India, which most of the people not even aware. Yes, we are talking about India's tech revolution challenging the US giants. It's a very interesting topic, and with me, joining me in this podcast is Mr. Sumant Ray. Welcome, Sumant.
Thank you, Mohan.
And for your information, Sumant heads our research and technology, and he is the one who is always watching the markets, watching the numbers, watching the developments, using various algorithms and making things happen for us in Rupee Rakshak. Getting into the discussion straight away, there's a lot happening in the AI search revolution that's happening. Particularly, we know of the ChatGPTs of the world. There is Grok, there is AI revolution happening. The big tech in the US, they're making huge presence, and we have seen the top tech giants announcing one after the other versions of the GPTs. So my starting point is Perplexity AI topped various app charts in India, and it is outperforming ChatGPT in 2024.
Right.
So what do you think about this Perplexity?
So Perplexity is the AI-powered search engine, and whereas ChatGPT is more of a conventional artificial engine model, or we can say is a conversational AI model. So we have been using Google as a search engine so far, right? So Perplexity, you can say that they are applying artificial intelligence on the data that was already available in Google.
Okay.
So basically they are applying artificial intelligence on real-time data from various sources that they have accumulated or trained their model. So this is more for research purpose. So and it also gives you the citations. So basically from what are the sources that they are collecting the information or presenting the facts to you, so that it can
the user can verify
factual transparency or factual accuracy of the data. So Perplexity AI is more beneficial than ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is more for conversational artificial intelligence, where it is good for summarization, writing good English paragraphs, or good for coding, good for creative work. Whereas Perplexity is good for research work. So and the reason Perplexity is gaining more grounds in India because of the collaboration with Indian government. So that's why we are seeing especially the students and the universities are using more and more for their research purpose. So that's how Perplexity has become more popular of late than ChatGPT.
So basically what you're saying is ChatGPT is more conversational, because you back in those, even today when you search
Right.
something in the Google,
Right.
you will get 10 possible solutions and clickable links,
Right.
and then you go to the link and then search something.
Right.
Whereas in ChatGPT will do all this and present it in a nicer format for you to
Yes.
understand.
So it will analyze whatever the data, that open source data available already from Google or other sources. It will apply intelligence on that, and based on the context of the question that you are asking, it will present you with in order to satisfy that context.
So matching the
Matching the
context.
context, it will present the data according to you, or whatever is your query. Based on that, it will present the factual data from the source from the online sources.
So if I understand, it is more a language expert or a language analytics,
Right.
rather than the data or statistics analysis.
Right, right.
Okay. But when it comes to Perplexity, so if I'm understanding in the layman terms, so it will do more of a fact checking, or it will
Exactly.
do more of a citation, and
Citation,
whether that is authentic source,
Exactly.
and whether it is more relatable, whether it is a,
Exactly.
so
So, for example, let's say I am asking some data, statistical data. So, it will source that same data from multiple sources, and it will also tell you those citations, that from what are the sources it have collected the data, and then it will basically match those data, and it will see what is the best accurate data from matching from different sources. So, it won't give you a random data just because it collected from multiple sources. So, it will do all the due diligence and make sure that it filters it and provides you the correct information to you to the greatest extent possible. There is room for error, but the error, the percentage of error is very, very less, what we have observed so far.
probably maybe because of that, Sumanji, what I'm seeing, the data I have in front of me is India accounts for 22.16% of Perplexity AI's global user base.
Exactly.
And it is the second
largest in the
after
world.
Indonesia at 24.78%. And also another piece of data is that Perplexity's global market share grew from 3% to 3.8% between March and July 2024. And ChatGPT remains, of course, largest global presence it has, but Perplexity shows faster growth trajectory, particularly in India.
Exactly.
Maybe because you said there is a focus from
Because
the...
it is used more by the students and the universities and professors, because Indian government is promoting the Perplexity in collaboration with Perplexity, so that the students gets access to these AI models for their research purpose, and more for educational purpose.
So for a question, if I have, like, what makes Perplexity's approach different from ChatGPT, like what would you say? Is it more
So
of fact checking kind of a...
In fact, they have integration with all the GPT models or the large language models, LLMs. They have, I think, integrated with DeepSeek, OpenAI GPTs, and many other models that are open source. So basically, they are applying their intelligence from different models on top of the data they have sourced from the internet. So
Okay.
they are doing that pre-analysis and providing you the research with factual accuracy.
So one is the advantage that Perplexity probably have, if I can read from the data, is that India's preference for fact-based, because in
Right.
India people are more, they don't take anything for granted.
Right.
Because we normally will say, even if an expert says, they'll just still go for the second opinion.
Exactly.
And we always have that, thirst for checking it again. Is it correct? Is this
Right.
correct? So
Right.
probably that is something that very unique to us, the Indians, that we don't
So
take...
for one example I can give, let's say you are searching certain information from Google. Google will give you multiple links. Now you have to go through each and every link. You have to read, understand, summarize, and come to a conclusion. Whereas Perplexity will do that job for you and give you a concise output that you are looking for from sourcing the data from multiple sources across the globe or across the internet.
Wonderful, sir. So another question on this Perplexity, what are the investment implications of this AI battle? Basically, there are a lot of investments, because it requires huge amount of power supplies.
Exactly.
And a lot of other things. What are the common factors that are associated with the AI expansion? Because if we are computing to such large databases and doing for every query. There's so much of computation happening, the power supply. What are the flip side of this?
Of course, I mean it requires a lot of power because of the tremendous amount of computation power it requires, the enormous power that it requires. Even for example, let's say you have asked a question to GPT and you have said, let's say you are satisfied with the question and you have said a thanks to it. Just for writing that thanks, it will respond to you against the whatever that thanks that you have said to the GPT. So it will actually go through the entire LLM model to find a response for that thanks. So that it.
So you are welcome. It has to say, I say thank you. You are
say welcome. So for that, it will go through so much of compute power. So that's why if you see recently Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, he has actually requested to avoid such kind of writing thanks, please, all these the formal words. You don't avoid, straightway jump to the question, so that it uses less computation and it consumes less electricity. And of course, when it consumes more electricity, it increases our carbon footprint. So the pollution increases. The already we are suffering from global warming. So it actually contributes to great extent to the global warming as well.
So coming on the positive side of it, now Perplexity is increasing its market share in India as well as globally.
Right.
And what are the good side of it, if you can?
So basically, on every subject, you can do research from Perplexity. There is no limitation. So whatever open source data or information available in the internet, so they have pretty much trained their model with all the data that is currently available. In fact, more than the data that Google has. So that's what is actually giving them advantage than Google. So you have access to all kinds of information, be it medicines, be it scientific research, or be it just for academic purpose, or study purpose, or solving a mathematical question, or anything, for any subject. So it gives you all kinds of research data that it presents whenever it is asked, with the right context.
So the fact that the founder is an Indian, Aravind Srinivasan, and is it something for us to feel proud?
Of course. So it shows us that we have the capability. The same guy who studied in India and belong from Andhra Pradesh, I guess. So and they are going abroad, and whenever they are presented with such kind of opportunity, they can excel in at par with the level of Google's or Microsoft's or IBM's. So they can come up with products which are actually dominating in the world right now. So I think it shows that if the similar opportunities and infrastructure are presented here, I think probably we'll be seeing more and more Indian talents being retained in our homeland, and we actually get to build same level of companies or businesses in India. So it's a huge opportunity for us, given the current the geopolitical situation, when we are so heavily dependent on the outside the US based application mostly.
And being in the investment industry, in advisory industry,
right.
we also see that Perplexity works closely with stock market data.
Exactly.
It is already integrated with Indian brokers.
Right.
So what do you think this robo advisory, whether Perplexity telling people what stocks to buy at what price, what do you think
right.
about that future?
So I think there is a huge prospect in that, and we are already using it to a great deal in our research as well. And the best part is that they are connected with most of the world exchanges. So you get to you get real time stock data, ticker data available, and not only that, and they have all the fundamental data available for all those scripts all over the globe. So it basically helps you analyze fundamental data as well. Not only that, even for Indian stocks, they are even giving the live transcripts of con calls that happens before the earnings for every company, and it actually analyzes the sentiment of that, whether it's a positive or negative. If whatever is discussed in the call, it basically listens to that conversation and it gives you live transcription of this conversation and live analysis of that the outcome of that conversation. So doing stock research has been really very easy. Anybody with interest or passion on stock market can actually get a lot of help and do good research with the help of Perplexity.
So what is the word of caution for people? Because a lot of youngsters, they use this Perplexity, but it is still learning. So it is
Right.
very important if you have to.
End of the day, see, we are still, we have to believe our own intuition, and we can't blindly believe. Though, I mean, the artificial intelligence model becoming more and more powerful as it learns every day. So that is the best part of AI, because it learns every day based on the new data that is getting fed into the system, right? So it is obviously learning, but still human intelligence is far superior as of now. So end of the day, you have to do your own research and maybe get it verified with a registered advisory and make sure that you don't take any risky decisions end of the day.
Because recently I remember the conversation we had. We were checking this tool for analyzing some of the stock holdings where the price would
Exactly.
go, and it is giving a lot of wrong data, and
Right.
unless you properly.
So it is the same thing. See, nobody can tell what will happen in the market tomorrow, because there could be a geopolitical event, there could be a war breakout, or there could be a nuclear bomb, dropped somewhere, or there could be a terrorist attack, or there is a change in governments. Nowadays, you can see a lot of Genjis are changing the government overnight. So a lot of things are happening. So these events impact market decisions, right? So even though our analysis is correct and to the point with all best possible scenarios, still it can go wrong. So AI is also, because AI also can't predict future. It cannot predict what will happen tomorrow or what statement will be made by Donald Trump. AI cannot predict that. So AI will do the due diligence with the data that it has already available. So beyond a point, it can't predict. So
I think if we can predict Donald Trump's statements 1 week in advance, or at least 1 day in advance, I think that will be a biggest machine.
To explore, actually. That itself is a big project.
Wonderful. Sumanji, moving on to the next important tech area, if we are talking about, that is there's a lot of news it is making, the Zoho email suites versus the Google Workspace. So if we talk about, the question is, how significant is Zoho's cost advantage over Google Workspace? Because we use Google email servers for everything, and it costs a certain amount for businesses to use these email services and maintain all those Google Docs and all that entire suite of the Google products that it offers. Now that we have an Indian company, and the Zoho is offering these services, and what do you think about that from as a technician, as a techie?
In fact, Zoho has been a popular ERP, cloud-based ERP for quite long actually. So they are almost 20 years old, and a lot of businesses they have been using Zoho ERPs for a long time, but they came to limelight once recently when our information minister Mr. Vaishni Vaishnav promoted, or recommended Zoho, and he was actually using the Zoho office suites. And so far, people were not aware that Zoho is not only a ERP company, but they have the complete office suite like Microsoft Office. So they have PowerPoint, PPT decks, they have Zoho Doc, they have Zoho email, and you name it, Zoho spreadsheets, they have everything. Zoho meetings, Zoho calendars, all the kind of
everything, whatever Google has,
exactly,
Zoho also has.
Most of the Microsoft suites that tools that we normally use in our day-to-day life, they have actually developed them quite long back, and they have been selling it across the globe, and you will be surprised to know that their revenue is more than 8,000 crore annually. And it is growing. So now I think net worth is more than 50,000 crore. So it's
as I can see some data, Zoho reported financial year 23 revenues. Revenue surpassing 8,700 crore.
Exactly. And it is growing. So now that it has become more and more popular, and even now that Indian government personally is recommending and of late, as the ministers, most of the ministers have announced in their social media profile. So they have also onboarded to Zoho emails and Zoho.
But
Office
with
suites.
all this, Sumanji, whatever you said, now the retail people are waking
Right.
up with all this news that is
Exactly.
happening.
If you see
but
the cost advantage, it's almost
no,
one
no,
third
before the cost advantage, what I have a data is only 14.3% of Zoho user base is in India.
Exactly.
Rest of it they are
Rest of
selling
is
outside.
Outside, exactly. Many countries are already using it. So it is that means it is already widely accepted and it is well tested. And I mean, you can imagine the quality of the products already.
We feel often very feel bad that our product,
Our
such
own
a good product is
Indian
there and we are not using
product
it.
that we were not aware of unless the ministry came forward and promoted that our own companies.
Since you are talking about cost, Sumanji, I have some information in my system right now in front of me. For a 50% company, a Zoho professional costs about 3,600 rupees per user per year.
Exactly.
Versus Google Business Standard at 8,400 rupees.
So almost 2.5 times. So that's the amount of cost.
It's about 60% is the saving.
Yeah.
So it is 1/3 of whatever the cost of Google suite.
In 1/3 cost, you get the same quality as almost as as good as Google.
Okay.
Or Gmail suite.
So another question is, what drives Indian organizations to choose Zoho over Google?
Of course, because your data is shared when you are using the suits or any application from abroad. You are actually giving away your data. So that is very critical, especially when government starts using. Imagine Google,
government
likes of
writing
Microsoft,
emails, internal circulars and emails.
So government has been using Microsoft application all along. So Microsoft has all the you never know what kind of data they have archived. So that's a big risk. So now when you are using Indian-based applications and when the data is hosted in a data center in India, so you are actually protecting or keeping your data within India.
So it is data sovereignty.
Data sovereignty.
Okay.
So that's the biggest benefit of that.
And
not only that, promoting our own companies, boosting our own business, so that helps, and it will inspire the new generation to in fact start building in India. Then we often see the best of the IITians are moving abroad and they are working, and you can see the likes of Satya Nadella, likes of Sundar Pichai. They are building some of the best applications for America. Why can't they could have done it here, provided the same opportunity was given to them. I think now that ground is the base is already laid out. I think we'll see that happening soon, and I think we are actually spearheading in a very fast pace, and we'll see those things happening in next few years.
Wonderful, sir. And the other question is, whenever a company comes up like this, always the question that comes is, can Zoho compete globally against Google's ecosystem? Because Google is huge and they have huge, especially the global market, because because it dominates the enterprise and education sectors globally, Google.
Right.
And also Zoho gains a traction basically in SMEs or in government or privacy focused organization within India. So Google's $12 billion global market, and that is the size, versus Zoho's growing. It is growing, but it is smaller footprint compared to the Google's size.
Right. So I think it's just the beginning, and now that I think the very intelligently government started using before preaching to others. So I think that will build the trust factor, where other sovereign governments who are also facing the same issue, like losing their sovereign data to outside companies. I think and also because India has that reputation of like being more honest and transparent. Normally, the Indians are very authentic in that sense. So people trust, the trust factor will probably work in our favor. So I think more and more countries will probably start using our applications, Indian-based applications, and thus it will increase the business.
And also Zoho's business model, if you see, it's an integrated business. So you have CRM, you have collaboration, so everything is there. So
entire business suite is available. Starting from your email to ERPs, you name it, they have it. So that's a very big advantage.
Wonderful. So we have covered two areas in the tech that revolution that we are seeing in India. The third is even more bigger than what we have spoken about, these two, and we are entering the quantum computing.
Okay.
So basically, if I understand quantum computing, we know we started initially analog computers,
Right.
and from where the black screens and all those things we used to manage, and then we moved to the digital screens. Now it became, the digital screen became a mobile screen today,
Right.
and everything touch screen and all that we have seen. Now what is this quantum computing? Because what we see in India, we have, I don't know how many people, how many Indians are actually aware. In fact, the QpiAI is an Indian company started by an Indian entrepreneur. His name sounds like a, Cheddi Buddy, the Nagendra Nagaraja.
Exactly.
A very our own Bangalorean.
Our own Bangalorean.
Bangalorean. And we feel so proud when we listen to him and the kind of work they have done already.
Right.
In fact, India's first 25 qubit supercomputing quantum computer was already launched.
Yes.
And it is also called as QpiAI Indus is the
And
name.
it's also funded by Government of India.
Absolutely. So there is a huge mission,
Huge
the
government
quantum
backing
mission.
also, yes.
So what do you have your views on this? Because this actually makes me, feel so good from within that, because we buy computers from IBM and HP and all this kind of, hardware.
Right.
So are we looking at manufacturing computers in India with chips in India? What exactly is this?
That already started happening. Now you can see there is a huge drive led by the Government of India in semiconductor manufacturing, and the almost 1 lakh crore is being invested in semiconductor manufacturing. So a lot of like Foxconn and many other I think Taiwan-based semiconductor manufacturers are setting up factories, especially in Tata Tech has been set up in Assam, Guwahati, and Noida, Gurgaon also, the Dixon Technologies, they are one of the pioneers in semiconductor manufacturing. So huge investments are happening. So as far as computer is concerned, already we started doing that. But quantum computing is a new I mean, it's not new. It's another phenomena which is going to change the world forever. So it's like by leaps and bounds. So the conventional computing is very different from conventional computing. So normally, in traditional computing, we use zeros and ones.
Binary.
Bits. So basically binaries. So either in the form of zeros or ones, right? So in quantum computing, it can use zeros or ones or the combination of both. So the state of both it can combine. So that actually makes it possible to explore multiple functions parallelly. So normally what we achieve in traditional computing in sequential manner, there it can be done parallelly. The same task can be done parallelly. I mean, multiple computation path can be explored simultaneously at the same time. Whereas in current computing system, it is not possible. Everything happens in sequence. Though, I mean, we have the processors, we use multiple processors to split the task, and it happens so fast, though it happens in sequence, but that is called time slicing in the concept of multi-threading. So it happens so fast that it gives you an impression that it is happening simultaneously, but it is not. It's all in a sequence. Whereas in quantum computing, everything can be, and like millions of computations can happen simultaneously at the same time. Not at all sequence. So imagine.
So basically, you are saying it can change the world for a common man.
Yes.
So
for example, any new chemical reactions, it can explore multiple combinations at the same time and give you the output much faster than.
So that means in medicine and in healthcare,
in genetic research, in healthcare, agriculture, weather forecasting, you name it. In every field, it's going to bring about a huge change, and that will change the world forever. So not only that, in communication, telecom sector, so even there is a concept called, I think research is going on, called quantum entanglement, right? So basically two quantum particles, once they are entangled, so any change happens in one particle, at the same time the state of the other particle changes. Same changes.
So it's a karma theory, like we say in spirituality.
So imagine you have two quantum particles which are entangled between each other across two multiple galaxies. So it can communicate instantly, even how far ever it is in a
So somewhere
galaxy.
somebody sitting in Mercury or some aliens.
All the sci-fi thing that we have seen probably is going to be.
But what I am interested is if it can change the way we can cure cancer, we can treat the health.
And it can do new innovations, let's say on physics, some certain theories or like certain mathematical problems which are yet to be solved. Probably quantum computing will be able to, with the help of PI, quantum computing and AI, probably new theories will be discovered or new problems.
So the beauty is that we are already there in India.
We are already there.
So my question is, how does India's QpiAI compare to quantum computing giants? There are big ones like IBM's and
IBM has been working on this. They are pioneers in this, and because they started very early, I think since early 80s, 90s they started working. So of course they have that early mover advantage. We are late to start, but I think we are already there, and we are making great progress, and we'll be able to catch up very soon, probably in next decade or so.
So because I have some data in front of me which says IBM's Osprey chip, it has 433 qubits in 2023, and it's targeting 1000 plus qubits. And Google Systems has 72 to 133 qubits with quantum supremacy demonstrations. And then our own Indian QpiAI launched India's first 25 qubit superconducting quantum computer.
And we are also targeting, I think by next 2030.
So what I have the data from the web is that QpiAI roadmap is about 128 NISQ qubits in 2 years, and probably you will understand all this, and 100 plus logical qubits by 2030.
Yeah. So I think we'll catch up very soon. I have no doubt about that.
So another 4 or 5 years, you think there is a possibility that the way we use our computers or the way we calculate things, and you were talking about in our casual conversations a couple of days back, you were saying today the security, the security in the banking, that whatever 64.
So that is going to be a big risk. I think all this current day encryptions, normally there are all 128-bit encryptions that normally used. So in quantum computing, it can be hacked in just in fraction of seconds, where probably a current computer system may take 100 years. Same can be achieved in fraction of seconds. So I think the security also, I think we need to evolve our security system also in tandem with the capability of quantum computing.
So can it be a kind of an advantage to a country? Suppose if you develop the first capability of quantum computing in real times, and you can actually take over the supremacy in terms of technology, and where others will have to buy technology from you.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just talking about more like a fiction, but is it a possibility that if I develop in India, suppose if we develop quantum computing faster, and we are able to actually kind of whatever you are talking about, the security, I mean, in fact, that's why there's a lot of news that I read that all the agencies, the government agencies, particularly like the federal agencies, the CBI here or whatever they invest, they are very closely monitoring the developments in terms of, because that's their job to protect their country's data as well as people. And it's a financial transaction today. Whatever money I have in my bank account, it's only my password. Now, if somebody is taking out my password and my money goes to some other account or some other institution, of course, talking hypothetically, so that can be the task of the quantum computing.
That's the negative side of it, or the challenge you call it. So I think probably we'll find a solution for that as well with the help of quantum computing itself.
But what we should actually take note of things is, this will not happen just like that without government intervention. And we have seen the India's quantum computing investment strategy by the government. Because what we see is the National Quantum Mission. What I have in my system is about 6,000 crores.
Yeah, that's the same reason government also taking a deep interest, because they know the risk involved of being late in the game. So that's why I think there is such a huge push from the government as well.
So what are the commercial implications of quantum computing advancement? If I have to look at it, for example, let's say HSBC achieved about 34% improvement in bond trading prediction using IBM's quantum processor. So there can be a commercial advantages when you increase your computing capabilities,
Right.
because you manage large amount of data predicting interest rate fluctuations and various things, especially in banking and finance. The computing is the most underlying thing to be able to be effective. So how do you see this?
As I said, right, I think the level of parallelization that it will achieve, it will be in order of
Multiple times it can multifold.
magnitude, basically. So which a traditional computer can't do. So that is what will help, because the combinations, number of combinations it can generate and validate at the same time. So that will, the exploring ability will be much far superior than what we have today. So that is going to help in not only this, in every field, especially in discoveries. Right, in medical research, probably we'll find cures for most of the diseases in next 10 years once the quantum computing becomes.
And just bringing another fact, Sumanji, I'm recollecting from one of the interviews of Mr. Nagendra Nagaraja, who's founder of this QpiAI, a Bangalorean. He was telling that on November 1st, that is our Kannada Rajyotsava, though we celebrate the Karnataka, whole of Karnataka we celebrate as the yearly day for the Karnataka. On that day, he says, we are ready to launch the next, I think, I don't know whether it is 75 qubit or something. So they are calling that as a Kaveri, I think.
Right.
So it's a huge moment of pride for us that someone from, Karnataka has been doing this great job, and it's going to actually make huge value additions to the country as a whole. Because today war is not fought in the battleground, it is fought in the labs.
In the labs.
So what do you say about this? It's a great moment for all of us living in Bangalore.
I think it's a great moment, and it's a proud thing for us that somebody from Karnataka is doing it, sitting in Bangalore, where we are also sitting. So I think, and also driving the whole quantum mission, leapfrogging the whole quantum mission, and it's inspiring the next generation to come forward and contribute to quantum computing, right? So I think also the government is also making sure that they introduce the kind of syllabus in the education curriculum that basically trains our next generation to be quantum computing ready. So I think that is also a big push that is happening from the government end. So I think altogether we are in a great shape. We are not far behind. That's what I can say.
So that's about 3 stories on tech revolution in India, and I have one more which is very interesting, which so far whatever we have talked, most of it is used by businesses and techies, and they understand. But this one what we are talking about is something that every Indian is already using, and I am talking about the messaging app disruption, the Arattai versus the WhatsApp.
Right.
So again from Zoho, we just talked about Zoho emails and things like that. Right. Now this Arattai actually is a Tamil word. We know Sridhar Vembu.
Tamil word for chit chat.
Chatting. So we used to have one program called Arattai Arangam long back, and very intelligent discussion used to happen. It's a Tamil program, very popular program in Tamil channels those days, and they used to have amazing discussions and conversations in that Arattai Arangam. If I don't know if I'm spelling it correct, but Arattai is, I remember that word from that program. So it is basically talking.
Right.
So it's like a chat, reality show. It used to be. Now this app is called Arattai app, and I see amongst my friends, in fact yesterday we have another channel, Vedic Wellness, an NGO channel, where the scholar had come to talk about some Upanishads explanation, and he is actually using this Arattai app to do classes. So he has to close this podcast by 8 o'clock and go there. And he was actually messaging on the Arattai app. And I asked him, why are you using Arattai? He said, this is equal to many other single apps. I have Zoom inside in ClickDated. I have chat.
Right.
I can converse. I can do everything in Arattai, and it is wonderful. And more so, it is Indian.
Exactly.
So what do you have to share with us? My first
So-
question is, can Arattai challenge WhatsApp's 540 million Indian users?
Absolutely, it can. Thing is that people have been used to WhatsApp, so that is the major blocker for. And normally when certain applications we are so used to and we use every day in our everyday life, and that is probably the most used application in the whole world. So that is one factor. Probably it will that people are in that comfort zone of using the same application over a long period of time. So the acceptance of a new, though it does the same job, probably it
No,
will
it's
take
already
little
increasing.
longer,
The data
but
I have
now-
is, Sumanji,
Right.
what it says is Arattai 1 million plus monthly active
Exactly.
users with exponential growth.
Right.
Now, what is this data that says is daily signups surge from 3,000
Exactly.
to 3.5
After
lakhs.
our education minister from Government of India, he referred the Arattai app, and he also onboarded under that. After that, the tweet from him, it became popular, and I think now, as you mentioned, the download has increased. I think it is the most downloaded application in the whole in the Google Play Store.
Correct.
So it is already increasing, and people started using, and I can also see I have downloaded and installed in my mobile, and I can see 30% of my contacts are already in Arattai. That means people are already using.
It's fast
And
catching up.
the best part of it is as good as WhatsApp. Initially it was slow because there was not much of downloads, so they didn't scale up their infrastructure. So now after this huge spurts of downloads, I think now they are working on adding more servers to their infrastructure. So once that is done, I think it is as good as. I don't see any difference in terms of UI, in terms of intuitiveness of the application. So you can easily use, and you can figure out on your own without anybody have to tell you how to use the app. And the best part is that it has more features, certain more features than WhatsApp. It is equally fast than WhatsApp. It has inbuilt calendars. It has all the community messaging. It has the video conferencing. It has ability to make audio calls on what is that, voice over IP based audio calls as well as video calls. The only thing that they are lacking is the encryption, that is for text messaging. Their video and audio calls are already end-to-end encrypted. So only the text message is not encrypted yet, and they are already working with the team that has worked on the UPI.
Oh, okay.
So they have collaborated with the UPI team, and together now they are working on encrypting the message also end to end. So once the messaging is encrypted, there is no much difference between WhatsApp and Arattai. So you can literally switch to Arattai, and you have one-click conferencing ability among all your contacts, all the groups. And I have tested personally. The audio video quality is extremely good. You won't believe that it is an Indian application.
Amazing. In fact, that's what makes it all the more interesting,
Yeah.
because it is
And
Indian.
surprisingly, that we didn't know about it. That we have an in-house application built in India, so great, which is as good as WhatsApp, but people were not aware of it. So
it also aligns and again makes us feel proud that it's an Atmanirbhar, Bharat kind of a product and a self-reliant India initiative, and also it is developed by an Indian company, Zoho Corporation.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, point is, what are the challenges Arattai face in scaling, according to you?
Scaling, I think it is very well architected. The product existed from last 3 years actually.
Oh, it's not new
It's
product.
not new, and they have a dedicated team which actually studied how WhatsApp is built, and it is built with the best-in-class tech stack available for performance, basically. So the architecture-wise, it is as good as WhatsApp. whatever I have researched
UI
from the interviews from Mr. Sridhar Vembu, the CEO of Zoho. So the architecture wise there is no problem. Scaling is just about adding servers. So I mean, as and when more and more users join, they will provision accordingly depending on the numbers that getting added in. So I think once their data center is up and running, I think we are just
So there are some feature gaps maybe they need to work on according to some information that I have. There is no message editing. Those are the things that
I think in matter of months it can be done.
can be given.
So
Okay.
yeah, because there was not a wider acceptance of that, so they didn't work on it. Now that it is being promoted and being used by many government officials, I'm sure, and that's the reason they have actually, I think that collaboration is also arranged from the government of India. Between the UPI team, the UPI
Absolutely,
is
yes.
the one of the best product that came out of India, and it's being widely used across the globe by multiple
Now we are
countries.
exporting also. Now
We are
for other
exporting
countries
also,
we are offering.
like Argentina, Brazil, many Gulf countries, and some of the African countries are also using. In fact, France also started using UPI. UPI is also available in France. So many European countries also started using. Australia is using. So I think we have a international acceptance on that. The same team is collaborating and helping them, with the necessary technology know-how to build the encryptions and features. Anyway, they can develop. Those are very
Small
nominal,
things.
small features, cosmetic things for them. So I think it will be as good as WhatsApp in no time, basically.
Of course, we have lack of time to talk about the plenty of things. But one small thing that I want to understand is how this suddenly came up. Because last 3 years, 4 years, we have not heard much about. We know Zoho more of ERP product or more from tax filing and kind of a thing. But there should have been huge effort, right, for this to happen.
Absolutely. I think Mr. Sridhar himself is a very, a geek himself, tech geek, what we call it, and a hardcore technologist. He has been in US. He has worked with so many, top class companies in US, and then came back with that experience, and he started building the products in India almost 20 years back. So it is not an overnight effort. I mean, we are probably seeing all that product today, but nobody is seeing the grind behind it. So it's an amazing story actually that should inspire our young generation, that out of a village in Tenkasi, Tamil Nadu, he has built such a huge $1 billion company sitting in the rice paddy field, basically. Not only that, he has created that whole ecosystem for him to fill the resource gap, that
What do you
kind
mean by
of
that?
resources that he needs to build such application. So he needs knowledgeable resources. So he created his schools and universities where he basically teaches those students, the village students, and make them ready for the future, and they train them on the necessary technology that they need to build applications for their own purpose. So basically they are not hiring from outside, they are hiring resources from their own universities where they are trained by them itself. So he has created that whole ecosystem, and that's where I think he is able to bridge that resource gap, even sitting inside a village in a remote place in Tamil Nadu.
Wonderful.
Where many sitting in top tier 1, tier 2 cities are not been able to do that. So that's a classic example how he is preparing the next generation and making the next generation ready to take it forward.
So the whole thing, whatever we discussed, right from Perplexity versus ChatGPT to Zoho versus Google email servers, then versus quantum computing, QpiAI to IBMs of the Googles of those building big quantum computing capabilities, to the Arattai versus WhatsApp.
Right.
And it's a wonderful story. I think when we see it, we feel so good. And
Absolutely.
4 or 5 years, I think it's going to be a huge change for all of us and
We'll
our lives.
Probably see most of the platforms that we are using, which are built outside of India, will be seeing our homegrown products in next just a couple of years time. I think now it has created that confidence that yes, it is possible to build in India. I think it is in our had been into our culture, because we were more into services, right? So we are known for providing services, but not for building products. So now I think we are changing gears, and I think the platform is ready now. So it is just a matter of time before things take off, and I think we'll be achieving great heights in.
So if I have to say this in other words, we have always been consuming technology.
Exactly.
And we have been the end users. We
Right.
made Facebook big,
Yeah.
we made YouTube big, we
Right.
made WhatsApp big, we gave billions of dollars of revenues.
Right.
Probably now we are actually turning into creators of
Right.
technology.
From importer, we are turning into exporter.
Exporter.
slowly.
Amazing.
And we never had the lack of resources or dearth of resources. You see the same Indian guys, most 80% of the techies who are building those applications in US or outside India, they are from originating from India only. So I think we never had the lack of resources in India. It is just that the platform they needed, which is now being provided. So I think things will change for good for now.
Wonderful. So it's been amazing talking with you, Sumant ji,
Thank you,
in
Mohan ji.
terms of, because it gives you that goosebumps. Now
Right.
from being, snake charmers, Indians
Right.
means, these people, I mean, I still see that old movies and, the blood boils when you see Indians and dogs are not allowed,
Right.
and to now, every other country, if we are in a position to export our tech,
Right.
products and create products here,
Yes.
and then again, India is safe for the whole world, because we are not someone who attack the other countries. We are
Right.
not someone who are, grab the land, do this, do that. So it is also in a way good for the whole world, as it is
Absolutely.
maybe 4 or 5 years down the line. And this is a never-ending interaction. We will come back bringing up for our viewers all kinds of latest updates, because we just started. We are seeing a huge revolution,
Right.
and we are just challenging the US giants, and we need to actually complete that challenge in the years to come. And we will keep covering these interesting information in our future podcast. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Mohan ji. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, viewers, and that was an interesting discussion on the Indian tech revolution challenging the US giants. And we will watch how these things will take shape in future, and continue to be here with us on this Rupee Rakshak YouTube channel. And we will bring a lot more interesting stuff on tech, because tech defines the wealth in the few years to come. And if India is to be leading that wealth for the world, that's what all of us Indians want. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.